Hello, it's Plus Sports Special on PlusTvAfrica. It's the show where we bring you more than the weekly segments. Of course, this morning I have the pleasure of having with me the estimable Seun Ajidagba, and he has come with an important guest, Mr. Akin Denton, chairman of club cricket in Nigeria. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
I think we were having a conversation behind the scenes about what it takes for you to find the interest in cricket in Nigeria nowadays. It takes a lot of will, a lot of courage from professionals who've had the history and the love and passion for the sport to really bring it down to the roots, the grassroots, and try to elevate it in the hearts and minds of our youngsters. You've had a journey trying to do that. How have you found that so far?
It's been interesting. It's been challenging, and we thank God for what He has done, what He has used us to do. And I'm lucky and fortunate to have members of ESCO who have supported me since we took over the realm of affairs. To put things in context, I'm chairman of Club Cricket Committee in Lagos. Currently the league is being sponsored by Honorable Bolaon Olusegun Yishau of the Lagos House of Assembly. The league started in December, and so far we've played 3 months of very serious cricket. It's been nice, it's been fun, and it's something that I'm happy about.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess your assessment is obvious then. I don't have to ask that question. But prior to the start of the league season, you shared some of your visions as chairman of the CCC. Do you think those visions, you've really accomplished them so far? Is there still more to do?
Okay, so when I took over, what I agreed I will do, what I agreed I will deliver, is doing things the best way it should be done. Global best practice. At that time, we had a few things that we planned to do. We are on track. We are clearly on track. I can give you a few of the deliverables that we have delivered on. When we came on board, we found the need to review the Club Cricket Committee constitution. So we brought together stakeholders. We looked at the document. We agreed the document, and the document is being used currently to try and register the Club Cricket Committee with the CAC. That's ongoing. It's something that we have achieved. We had some playoffs where we came on board. At that time, we had to adopt the framework set up by the International Cricket Council of having at least 8 teams play in our elite division. Currently, we have 9 teams playing in a double round-robin format of the game, T20. We've played for 3 months. We set out to play 100 games. So far, we've played 60 out of 100, so we still have 40 outstanding in 2 divisions, Division 1 and Division 2. So things are on track. We've done the constitution review. We have commenced the registration at the CAC. We successfully worked on the playoffs, which we've achieved, and the league, has started, and we've played for 3 months.
I want to know what the average fan thinks of the league so far. Seun, you are a lover of the sport. Obviously, you must be chuffed to bits about all of the developments that have taken place in the sports, the league as it is now. What is your assessment as a fan? Do you think we're closer to the target of competing on the international stage as?
Well, thank you very much, Mika. It's a pleasure to be here. We have always said that the way to go is T20, which is the shortest format in cricket. We have even reduced it now. Again, there's even a T15 and a T10. But in Nigeria, following the COVID issues that ravaged the whole world, where cricket was not played, cricketers were yearning for the game. and we've had consistent cricket being played now. People are putting up spectacular performances. And so another thing I can also say that I've enjoyed is that people have been motivated to do things. Like the picture you have on your screen is the game that happened last weekend between Government College Ugeli and Government College Ibadan Old Boys Cricket Club. The captain of Government College Ibadan Old Boys Cricket Club won the Player of the Month for January. Wow. Which is another innovation that has been brought to encourage players. So cumulatively, they look at your performances just like they do in football to say, based on these performances you have posted, you are deserving. And the stats don't lie. It's not because he's handsome or because he's, it is statistics based. And what is done in Division 1 is also replicated in Division 2. So it doesn't look like all attention is on the Elite League. So in Division 2 for the month of January, because this league started December 11, Austin Aregan from Pioneers Cricket Club won the Honorable Bola Olusegun Yishao Player of the Month. So these are things that we encourage. And from the fans' perspective, it's been very enjoyable. Enjoyable in the sense that the shortest format in cricket, we always say, is T20. Unlike the 50 overs game, where you play the first innings for like 3 hours and then the second innings for like 3 hours. But now, in a T20 game, the first innings is 1 hour 20 minutes plus the rest in between after the first innings, and then they come back. So in a day, we play 2 matches. As I speak with you, a game is almost dusted. Myself and chairman came from Tafawa Balewa Cricket Over, and the game between Government College Ibadan Old Boys Cricket Club and Rocks Cricket Club of Abeokuta is ending now, and Government College Ibadan Old Boys have won that. And this afternoon at 2 p.m. at the same venue, which is the home of cricket, Tafawa Balewa Cricket Over, we have Government College Ugeli slugging it out with Foundation Cricket Club.
Sir, organizing a league can be obviously something tasking beyond the measure of our understanding as outsiders. Can you walk us through a bit of your experiences in that?
We all volunteered to serve. When I decided to throw in the hat to be chairman, little did I know that it was going to be this challenging. In the first instance, most of my weekends are gone now because I would have to spend Saturday and most times Sunday on 1 or 2 or all of the pitches where cricket, is being played. In Lagos now, cricket is being played at CMS Grammar School, at the Unilag Cricket Oval, as well as the TBS. So even commuting between all the 3 ovals where cricket is ongoing is a challenge on its own. But you see, I mentioned earlier that I have a team of executives that I can be proud of. They make sacrifices. We have meetings online regularly. We review areas where we have done well. We review areas where we need to improve. And we are all committed to providing a league that one can be proud of, and I think that's what we've done.
So speaking of that, yeah. I know, your job, it must feel like you're a nanny sometimes, corralling a bunch of children who do want to do the right thing.
Yes.
But it's so hard, yes. And they only have, individual perspectives of yes. their teams yes. at heart. You have to think of the whole perspective, exactly. the larger picture.
Exactly.
How cooperative do you think the Division 1 and 2 teams have been in your efforts?
The captains have been pretty understanding. Sports, it's a game that brings out so much passion. And understandably so, there are instances or situations where they would like things to be done their own way. But I said up front that what we have decided to do is to have a framework around best practice. And if you have best practice, you will only be fair. And so at the beginning of the season, there are rules and regulations around the engagement, for the season. this was socialized amongst all participating teams and their captains. They're clear about it. So in areas where there have been infraction, it's our job and responsibility to,
Speaking of best practices,
yes.
you've for some of our viewers who haven't had the pleasure of viewing you before, this is their first time
Yes.
seeing you. What format was instituted for this season? And are there playoffs to look forward to?
Okay, so we agreed that we would play the T20 format. We agreed that teams will play themselves twice, a double round robin, and the engagements are ongoing. The leaders of the pack have emerged, and those that are battling for relegation are also, it's also clear. From the terms of engagement, I do not think or envisage that there will be playoffs, because apart from winning and having points, or when there are games that tie, you share points, or when you outrightly lose, you lose the points totally. I do not envisage that there will be playoffs at the end of the season, because apart from just having points on board, your net run rate also counts for you, and this will separate teams from one another. So I don't envisage that there will be any playoffs. It will be clear, and we will see the terms of engagements are pretty clear.
Maybe I should just ask my chairman who is seated there, if there are not going to be any playoffs,
Yes.
at the end of the season, are we going to have something like a Super 4 or a Super 6 that is different from the winners of the Honorable Bola Olusegun Ishao League from the Super 4, or call it a Super 6?
That's a very good question. And you need to understand where we are and the constraints that we have. For the first time in Lagos and everywhere in Nigeria particularly, we are having a league of 9 teams in one division, meaning that with Division 1 and Division 2, they are playing 100 games. And, we have to struggle for, it's a lot of games. It's a lot of games. Honestly, I tell you, it's a lot of, each team will be playing about 16 different
Wow.
matches. Just like you mentioned earlier, this weekend, FCC Foundation Cricket Club is playing twice.
Wow.
They're playing today and they're playing tomorrow. And last week it was the same thing. You remember that Ibejulekwe had to play twice. It's a lot of games. So by the time that we are done, which we think we are working very hard to ensure that by first or second week in May we are done before the rains start. I want to think that we would have contributed our own quota, with the number of games that would have been played. It's a lot.
I'm
games.
starting to believe
It's a lot
that cricket is a much more physically demanding sport than perhaps anything else, because you play for almost a whole day, and sometimes it extends into several days. Like the T20, for example, between England and Australia. Oftentimes, it's a 5-day.
That's the test.
Oh, that's a test.
Sorry,
That's the test.
my apologies.
Test,
Yeah.
It's a 5-day event.
Yeah.
Are we going to be ending up in that space very soon in Nigeria, where we have our own local rival, that we are going to build such a legacy and tradition of playing such intense cricket?
That rivalry has also existed on the West Coast over the years. When you hear Nigeria and Sierra Leone play cricket, you're in for good competition. And very lately as well, Nigeria and Ghana, you know that you are in for very good cricket. Now, in terms of the format of the game, out there in other jurisdictions, they still continue to play test matches. The test matches are restricted to test playing nations.
Okay.
So that format of the game has continued. So you will see the West Indies play England or England play Australia, India, Sri Lanka, New Zealand. Those are test countries, and they still do play that format of the game, and they go on for five days endlessly, and that happens. They can play 5 different tests, 5 games each, 5 days. It's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of demand. But you see, down here, what ICC has tried to do is to provide. People complain that you go to cricket and you spend the entire day, and some people, when you get very busy at work, you can't give the entire day, even though it's your passion. So go and watch cricket. Watch the shortest format. In 3 hours, you are done. People are able to give out that, and that's what's going on.
In my experience, when you're watching something you love, you're passionate about, and I'm sure you've felt like
go on
this,
and on.
You're happy for it to keep going. In fact, you're praying it doesn't end when it's supposed to.
Yeah.
But so let's talk about the high points from players and clubs in the current CC season. What are those for you?
Okay, so there's been a few high points. Because we haven't played for a while due to the pandemic, and because we're starting to play the T20 format. The T20 format comes with its own unique challenges. Its your own unique challenges. Because it's very short, some games are tied. We've seen a few games already that were tied.
Yeah.
And those games that were tied, there are rules of engagement to decide the winner. It means you have to play a super over. We have challenges around officials not being able to interpret, the rules as she should. And the CCC has had to step in a few times, taking some decisions in the best interest of the game. We've had to, in the middle of the season, in collaboration with AKUSIN, that's the Umpires Association, organize refreshers training, for officials. The officials get paid for the service that they render. So any official so far that's done things or hasn't interpreted the rules in a way that will bring the game to disrepute, we have a format or framework around sanctioning, those people to serve as deterrent, to others. So the short format of the game itself has brought its own unique challenges, but in the midst of that, there have been people who have done very well, that you mentioned earlier, and they've been rewarded, handsomely with envelopes, from the sponsor.
I know we love
from
envelopes.
the NCF, yes.
I know we love envelopes.
Maybe just in addition to what Chairman said, there have been, in cricket we have different compartments, just like you have in football, the goalkeeping, the defense, the midfield, and then the attack. In cricket, we have the people we call the batters. They used to be called batsmen, but the rules have been changed to batters. We have bowlers, we have fielders, and we have wicket keepers. For the batters, you have to talk about one man who is leading the charge. He plays for Ibeju, Lekki Cricket Club, the defending champion. His name is Sulaiman Runshewe. He's been in and out of the national team, but with the current performances he's posting, there is nothing to suggest that he will not get an invite to be part of the national team. Another player I have to mention is a player of Foundation Cricket Club. His name is Yusuf Gashon. Has once played for the national team before, left-hand batsman. Another player I need to mention is Tunde Ayinde. He's the captain of Government College Ibadan Old Boys Cricket Club, the one I said won the Player of the Month for January. And when you talk about bowlers, a player for Government College Ibadan Old Boys Cricket Club is leading the charge. His name is Elijah Monde. You talk about players like Mustafa Yusuf. He's the captain of Ibeju Lekki Cricket Club 1. You talk about Chimezie Onwuzulike. He's playing for Rising Stars Cricket Club. He's also on 12 wickets. But the man who is leading the Elijah has 14 wickets. You talk about Taiwo Mohammed of Ibeju also. And when you talk about the guys from the fielding and the wicket keeper by extension, you mentioned names like Ademola Onikoyi. You mentioned names like Konkani. He's playing for 1004 Stars. You mentioned Oguniran. He's playing for Lagos Asians Cricket Club. So people have been churning, and we've had some players score 50 runs. 50 runs means half century. And then when you score 100, it's of course century. Players like Gashon have scored 50 runs in the league. Tunde Ayinde have scored 50 runs in the league. Today, before we came, a player who is the former captain of the Nigerian Cricket national team, Joshua Yonaike, scored 68 runs. So people have been posting spectacular performance. Sulaiman also, Rushewe, has scored 50 runs.
All of these things you said, I wonder if we wouldn't be better served if there was a program on TV for the uninitiated like myself that explains the rules on a weekly basis, that shows because these are athletes, and unfortunately, those who love football don't know about them. Those who love basketball don't know about them. But what you're talking about is a lot of great accomplishments that are worthy of being highlighted on a regular basis, and especially if they are doing so while representing Nigeria. And I'm sure, I want to ask this. The Tafawa Cricket Oval that was recently opened in January 16, 2022 by the Cricket Federation, how excited are you for that being used for league games now this season?
Okay, so the truth about it is that we have missed the use of the TBS. We have missed it. While the constructions were ongoing, I think that went on for a pretty long time, maybe 18 months, for the tough wicket to be constructed. So we're happy that we have the availability of TBS once again. We are happy that we are the ESCO in charge of having the league that would play tough cricket in Lagos, also TBS and Unilag for the first time. And part of the joy that I have is that every weekend now, you are sure that at three different locations, cricket is being played. So part of what the tough wicket has done for us is that our boys, when they go and play internationally, usually have to go and spend a week or 2 weeks to try and acclimatize, because it's two different conditions. Playing on concrete that we used to do before and playing on turf that we now do, it's two different things. So they usually need to go out, spend 2 weeks trying to acclimatize before every competition, because those competitions are played on tough wicket.
Yes.
But we have ours now, and like I said, the boys are going to play 16 games, 16 matches on turf. It's laudable, and it's
well. Does that now mean that, given the reopening of the Oval, the Unilag is no longer going to be hosting competitions, cricket matches?
No, Unilag will always have its opportunity. Usually, when you have international competitions in Nigeria, they're usually played in more than one ground. So the Unilag provides that other ground, and it's also tough. I think there's a tough wicket also, or tough wickets in Benin, Edo State. So there are alternatives now, also tough, that the Nigerian Cricket Federation can use if Nigeria is going to be hosting an international, apart from TBS.
Well, given that, are there future plans for even more expansion on available grounds?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. The way to go is to have tough wickets, and that's currently being done in several areas in Nigeria, as we speak. In Abuja, I know there's work that is ongoing. In Kaduna, there's work that is ongoing. In the East, I'm sure somebody will start something at some point. It's the way to go. It's a departure from the concrete and jute that we used to use, in those days.
Well, there's nothing like an incentive to keep the mind focused on the task ahead. So, the CCC League is sponsored by Honorable Bolan Oluj. Yes. Aside from medals, plaques, and trophies, are there monetary rewards at the end of the season for these athletes?
Okay, so we've had individuals that have collaborated with us. The Nigerian Cricket Federation have seen us as worthy collaborators, and so what they've done is that the NCF chairman on monthly basis has his personal donation to the best players in the league, both Division 1 and 2. He has been giving out Man of the Man awards to them, and that's why I said decent envelopes. He did that in December and January. That for February is ready. At some point we will make the presentations, and there have been winners. So all of that is to motivate. But what I see most importantly is that these youngsters all have a passion. They love the game. They like the spirit, and every Saturday and Sunday they come out and they give their very best.
There's nothing like camaraderie in a team sport. And obviously for viewing purposes. The fans are always important to any sport you're going to play.
Yes.
No matter how much effort you put in behind the scenes, the likes of Seun Ajidagba, the kinds of people you need at the grounds every day. And I'm sure Seun's children will know for a fact that they have to love the sport.
Hey, it's not sacrosanct.
They have to love the sport. And if no matter what, it's the way we connect to the next generation.
Yes.
We show what we've achieved, what we love, so that we can have them love it as well and have something in common. What plans does the CCC ESCOs have to incorporate the fans into?
It. So they are a major stakeholder. We have identified that. And what we do is every week before the weekend, we would send out to different platforms that have fans. So this is what has happened the week before. This is what's going to happen this week. So they are informed and they come out. And what we've done within the budget that we have is also to stream some selected games live. Okay. So there are games that we decided at the beginning of the season that this game and this game between this club and this club will be decent, so we will stream it live. Our Asian brothers, love that, because their families, wherever they are in India, are able to see, their family members play cricket, and that has really, really, really helped. So we continue to keep our stakeholders informed. They come to the ovals to watch the game. They are able to watch online, and we plan to have some engagement around Easter. It's at its planning stage at this time, where cricketers will be able to come with their friends and family around Easter time to watch cricket. There will be bouncing castles, there will be barbecues, to just inject the fun side of it, into cricket. And you never can say a young 4-year-old boy will come there, see what's going on, and that will just wow him. And before you know it, we'll have the next legend. So that's at its conceptualization stage. We're working on it, and we plan to deliver that also around Easter.
All right, let's take a short break, and we'll be right back with the chairman. Well, you're back watching Plus Sports Special on PlusTvAfrica. As you know, I have the estimable Seun Ajidagba, always reliable, always available for anything cricket. And he brought a valuable voice in cricket today.
Yeah.
Mr. Akin Denton. So now I want to get your reaction on something. Okay. Something upsetting, something that even for someone uninitiated as myself, it's heartbreaking. Australians today, March 5th, have woken up to the shock news that legendary Australian cricketer Shane Warne, one of the finest spin bowlers of all time, whose talent and personality transcended the sport, had died aged 52 the day before. This comes only a day after news of another Australian cricket legend, Rod Marsh, dying at the age of 74. Warne, who ended his spellbinding international career in 2007 with a remarkable 708 test wickets in 145 tests, which included a career best of 8 in 71 against England at the Gabba, died from a suspected heart attack in Koh Samui, Thailand. His family confirmed in a statement. He also picked up 293 ODI wickets and won the World Cup with Australia in 1999, where he was man of the match. As I said before, even someone as uninitiated into cricket as I knew who Seun was. And his face was one of the most recognizable faces around the world, possibly one of top 100 most influential athletes in the last 20 years. Yep. Your reactions to this?
It's a sad one, particularly because he's passing on quite young, 52. Seun indeed was a great spinner, leg spinner. He was a great one. He took a lot of test wickets. People traveled around the world to see him play. You know, he played for over a decade, you know, and he delighted us. So all I can say is that we have lost indeed a great one, and you know, may his soul continue to rest in peace, and we wish his family the fortitude to bear this irreparable loss.
Seun, I know you must have all of his stats memorized. One of the greats, as the chairman has mentioned. What was it like for you growing up, knowing what this man was accomplishing on the field of play?
You know, the shocking thing to a lot of people is he died in Thailand, although he's from Australia.
Yeah.
On March 4, he still tweeted about Rod Marsh, who was another great Australian cricketer.
Yes.
He was 74, played 188 matches. I mean, Rod Marsh. And he was talking about his influence on both male and female cricketers, that was a loving person. But for the man who tweeted that, for us to now be talking about his passage, you know, Chairman made mention of, he remodeled the leg spin. You know, you made mention of something that it would be nice for us to come and be doing some cricket lessons. We have different compartments in cricket. The batting, the fielding, the bowling, the wicket keeping. In bowling, you have the in swing, you have the out swing, you have the leg cutter, you have the off break, you have the leg spin. He remodeled spinning. He took 708 test wickets. Like we always say, there are three different kind of formats. The test wicket, which spans a longer time, like you made mention of, it spans days, weeks, months. We have the ODI, which is the one-day international, and the T20, which Nigeria has embraced, the ODI and the T20. He took 708. He's the second highest wicket taker in test cricket. One man has more than him from Sri Lanka,
Yes.
Mutia Muritalan, who has 800. This man you are watching on the screen has one record, ball of the century. I wish we could get that clip. In 1993 at Old Trafford, England against Australia. You know, I always tell you about the Ashes that just ended. England, each time they go to Australia, they go and embarrass their generation. They lose, because when they say down under, doesn't mean you should go under and then be beating black and blue. This last one ended 4-0 in January. In 1993 at Old Trafford, there was a batsman from England called Mike Gatton. And that was the ball of century. Remember that Roberto Carlos
Free kick
that looks like it was going out, and he bowled that ball, and that ball looked like it was going out, and the thing caught in. That was how great this man was. Seun. When he mentioned Australia, and some of his friends, even from Australia, the likes of Adam Gilchrist, Darren Lemon, Sir Vivian Richards from West Indies, even the legend himself, Sachin Tendulkar, the little master from India, Kumar Sangakkara from Sri Lanka, all of them, Jason Gillespie, his teammates, they have poured emotional tributes.
You know, even as beloved as football is in the world, cricket is a sport of kings. Its history goes so far back. It begs the question, with the level that this man reached, with the reputation he developed, with the greatness and stature that we have all, because tributes are going to keep pouring in for maybe weeks now. With the development of what we're trying to do in Nigeria with cricket, are we ever going to be amongst the nations that produce such a star power?
It's not impossible. Seun is a legend, and I mean, he is a legend. But Nigeria has had its own fair share of glory as well. I think one of the most celebrated bowlers in Nigeria now, I mean around the world now, is a Nigerian. That's the Peter Aho,
Yeah.
who during the recent bilateral competition between Nigeria and Sierra Leone, I think
6 wickets for 5 runs.
Yes, yes.
It was a world record.
So it is a world record now, and it's been held by a Nigerian that is about to play at 2 o'clock at TBS.
Interesting.
Yes.
Well, given the importance of the league and what it can offer the development of cricket in Nigeria, I think it's worth mentioning and giving a thanks to Honorable Bolaon Olusegun Ishao. I mean, the league wouldn't be what it is right now without such efforts on the part of men like yourselves, lovers of cricket like the Honorable, and fans who are as committed as Seun. So thank you for all the work you put in. It goes without saying that the sport needs more, and every sport in Nigeria could benefit from the impact and the passion that you want to say something, Seun.
I want to say something. Why I agree, Mikhail, that you are acting now like a lizard who falls from the top and says, if you guys don't heap praise on me, I heap praise on myself. You have forgotten to mention one person. While I thank Honorable Bola Olusegun Ishao from the Etiosa constituency 2, a member of Lagos House Assembly, for what he has done to support the league, and I'm sure going forward he's still going to do more. And I want to thank the CCC under the leadership of Mr. Akin, Denton, and the Excos and the cricketers, because they've been cooperative, and the fans. One person I would not fail to mention is PlusTvAfrica channel 408 on DSTV, and by extension the entire crew of Plus Sport. I say it anywhere that this is the only station that gives that huge attention, that huge minutes to talk about the game, and they are making frantic effort to really understand that game. So the effort is unquantifiable, and I think it's not out of place on set if you say to every member of staff of PlusTvAfrica, and by extension my family in this sport, you guys deserve.
Thank you so much, and I'm sure Kayode's head is swelling in the back of it.
Of course.
So I want to say right here, right now, that we're not going to stop. We're not going to slow down. We're going to keep asking you to come on the show.
Yeah.
And every event that you do host going forward, we want to be there. We want an invitation.
Yeah.
And we'll do our utmost, very best to showcase what cricket is doing in Nigeria, the love that a lot of fans are showing, because sometimes a lot is going on that people are not aware of. Until you put it on a TV screen, people will not know the kind of fandom that you're currently developing.
And you know, one thing Chairman said that goes unnoticed is people just come to that ground, see what is happening, and they pick interest. The current captain of Government College Ibadan Old Boys Cricket Club, Tunde Ayinde, people have forgotten his real name. They call him Ogede. This was someone who used to come to the cricket ground years ago with his banana to come and sell.
Wow.
He would drop it there, and you know banana is good for
Sports.
Rafael Nadal takes it, the tennis player, and he would just drop it there, the bunch of banana, knowing that I will not go anywhere to go and hawk. They will buy everything here. And he started learning how to play the game of cricket from where he drops his banana and they finish buying it. This guy went on to get invitation to the national team of Nigeria. He is one of the few cricketers that scored over a century runs in the league. As I speak to you, Tunde has graduated from University of Lagos, Economics Department. He will go and serve any moment from now. And he's playing for a club. Yes, the most prestigious club is FCC, the oldest. But he's playing for Government College Ibadan, and he is their captain. From somebody who came to the ground to come and hawk banana. He's a graduate of University of Lagos. He's gone to get invitation to the national team of Nigeria. He's one of the few to score century, and he's captaining a club.
Cricket is open to everybody now. Absolutely.
I can't wait to speak to more of your athletes. Perhaps even soon, some of your leaguers.
Okay.
It would be a pleasure to get a glimpse of what they feel cricket is doing for them, what the league under
done
your
for them.
stewardship is doing for
So
them.
we can do that, yeah.
Thank you so much. It's
you.
always a pleasure bringing you all the latest sports news from around the world. But today we had the pleasure of bringing you one sport that is currently taking off in Nigeria. And we had a voice, and you know, I don't even want to praise him too much because
Thank you.
I think it's already, everything I could say has already been said and more. So, of course, as always, Seun Ajidagba, always a pleasure having you. Mr. Akin, Denton.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for
Pleasure.
joining us today.
And I hope we don't get battered tomorrow. But like you say, he that is down is fair no for.
Okay. Yes,
United
that's
playing
your team.
against City
Yes.
at
I
Etihad.
It will be.
But like we always say, when Derby comes, form are thrown out of the window. I told some persons in the last 5 meetings at Etihad, Manchester United have beaten Manchester City thrice, drew once and lost once. But this United currently under Uncle Rafiu or Raf or what you know, rather than United playing Gege pressing, it's United that they are pressing. They are pressing them. So
Well,
and
I think the team is obviously not, doesn't have enough energy to play game present. It took even Klopp 3 years to get Liverpool to
Yeah,
where
to
they
that
are
level,
now.
yeah.
A lot of players had to be moved on. The right strategy of recruitment had to be put in place. And we see what they're doing now. And I'm sure if Rangnick were to keep the job at the end of the season, he would insist on a lot of the same.
keep which job? Holy Spirit, any power that wants to keep Rangnick as the coach of Manchester United, God please send them on an errand. No, chairman and chairman supports Arsenal.
Yes, I do.
Wow.
Supports
Yes,
Arsenal.
I do.
And Arsenal are
Slowly.
slowly and gradually
Rebuilding.
finally
Even though
they want to.
many of your fan base were ready to throw out Arteta.
We have remained faithful and loyal gunners.
Of course. Of course. My name is Mukai Tinubu, and as always, it's a pleasure having you on Plus Sports Special. Thank you for joining us from wherever you are. Remember, life is never boring with some sports. Have a wonderful day.